Good morning. It's Friday morning, and today, hopefully, everybody reaches home, although none of them would call it home. Lily will be excited to get home, but the other three are not looking forward. So let's see what happens. Chapter 14. An old friend. As Junior and Mephita napped, a melancholy Poppy walked along slowly the banks of Glitter Creek. Now and again she picked up a pebble and flicked it into the water. She even tried to skip one, but only achieved one jump before the stone sank. "Just like me," she said. Poppy was disappointed in herself. In her life, she had felt anger and calm, fear and courage. She had experienced danger and joy. She had felt love and hate. While she had been bored a few times in her life, she had been excited many more times. But never before had she felt so sad. Surely Junior was a great frustration, a mystery that should not be a mystery, and she was disappointed in her sister. Was she sad, she wondered, because of her father's aging? Not really, though she wanted only the best for him. It was, after all, only to be expected. He was an old mouse. She reminded herself that on the other side of things, there was Rye. She adored him, and there were her children. She loved them so much, including Junior. Yes, he was rude and crude, but he did have a wonderful laugh. Not one could still laugh like that and be bad. And that water fight, it had been fun. Then there was her life in the forest. There was Erith. It was all so good. And yet, she was sad. What was it, she wondered, about family that made her both happy and sad at the same time? Poppy continued to wander along the creek bank, the frustration within at odds with the calmly flowing waters by her side. Suddenly, she stopped, unwilling to believe what she was seeing. "Erythazon dorsatum," she cried. "What are you doing here?" The old porcupine was sitting by the edge of the creek, scooping water and washing his face. Hearing Poppy's voice, he looked about and grunted, but continued to clean himself without saying anything. "Erith," cried Poppy, "answer me." "Mole mucus milkshake," said Erith. "Can't you see I'm washing my face? In all the time I've known you, you have never washed your face." "Then it's about time." "But why are you even here?" "Because I want to be, Pickle Pot. Or do you happen to own this part of the world? You followed me here, didn't you?" "If I followed you, Bottom Brain, I'd be behind you. As you might have noticed, it was you who found me." "You understand me perfectly well," said Poppy. "You knew where I was going, and even though I asked you not to come, you came anyway." Boy, listen to that wind. Can you hear the wind? It is really blowing through the trees. "I've been looking for some fresh salt." "And Erith," said Poppy, I ask you to stay home and help Rye." "He can do it himself," murmured Erith. "And I can't travel myself?" Is that what you're saying? You need protection. From what? Your family. Edith, everything is fine. Spinach ice cream, cried Edith. What's happened to you? Edith, nothing has happened to me. I'm going to see my father who is sick. It won't help to have you there. Oh, Kipper Quaffles. You used to like it when I was around. Have you gotten tired of me? Edith, cried Poppy, close to tears. My father does not like porcupines. How come? He doesn't. He just doesn't. It's ignorance, and I apologize for it. Right, exploded Edith. And we certainly don't want to educate anyone, do we? Don't want the truth to embarrass someone, do we? Which is to say, I suppose, I'm good enough for some of your friends, just not good enough for your family. Sure, I thought I'd just stay on the edges of things in case you needed me, lend a quick quill if necessary, a little help on the side if needed. Old friends do come in handy, you know. But snot-weed sauerkraut, I guess I was wrong. Forget all we've ever done together. Forget the past. Never mind the future. See you around, Furbutt. It's been grand. Lovely. All you have to do is let me know when you want your best friend back, Flea Jacket, and I'll be right there. Count on me. Forget it, Mushroom Mouth. Forget it. You get yourself a fried earwax sandwich and eat it backward. Goodbye. Still sputtering, Edith spun around and waddled away into the forest. Edith, wait, cried Poppy. You don't understand. Please listen to me. I need to talk to you. It was too late. Edith had gone. The old porcupine crashed through the underbrush, prickly tail lashing back and forth with rage. Petulant pig buttons, he murmured. Square root of platypus. Suddenly, he stopped and spun about, looking back. Though he stared at nothing in particular, his thoughts were all on Poppy. It was not as if he thought she was in any physical danger, but she was clearly unhappy, upset. She couldn't mean what she was saying. She couldn't. Buttered bilge on cream cement, he swore. She is not going to tell me where I can and can't go. If I want to go visit her family, I'll do it. With that, he returned again and started back towards Glitter Creek and the old orchard beyond. And here's Poppy sitting very, very sad. After Edith had plunged into the forest, Poppy stared at the place where her friend had gone. As she listened to the rustling noise of the porcupine running through the grass, tears ran down her cheeks and along her pink nose and whiskers. This, she murmured, is the most awful time I have ever had. I hate families. Hate 'em. Then she sighed. But there is no choice, is there? I'm part of a family. Poppy began to walk slowly back along the edge of the creek. She went with her head bowed, her tail drooping, and her heart heavy. This is ridiculous, she heard herself thinking. A catastrophe. I shouldn't have come alone. If anyone in gray houses like Lily, it will be ghastly. They aren't going to like me. Having Junior along is going to make things even worse. No, he cannot go to Gray House with me. He must go home with Mephitis. I don't care what Junior says, and it's better that Erith didn't come. This is something I need to do alone. Fine, I'll go to Gray House, pay my respects to Papa, spend a little time with Mama, and then get right back home where I belong. So resolved, Poppy made her way along Glitter Creek, but when she got to the place she had left them, she discovered that Junior and Mephitis were gone. Chapter 15. Lily reaches Gray House. Lily hurried along the creek as fast as she could go. What is the matter with Poppy? She asked herself quite loud. What has happened to her? Yes, she used to be a little headstrong, but now... Lily shook her head. Though, of course, I really do know what the problem is. It's what comes of leaving one's family, abandoning them, getting off with a golden mouse. Look at that young ragweed, so unpleasant. No better than the first ragweed. And that skunk, unthinkable. What will Papa say? What will Mama say? What will everyone say? It's so embarrassing. As for that horrid, vulgar porcupine, what a catastrophe it would be if he showed up. Thank goodness he's not coming. I just hope these pine seeds will soothe Papa. Lily had reached the bridge that crossed the creek. It was hardly more than a row of wooden planks that stretched from bank to bank, the gaps between them wide enough for a mouse to fall through. She chose one and scampered across safely, reaching the far side. She hurried along the edge of Tar Road, which took her by the bottom of Bannock Hill. As Lily approached Gray House, she noticed the yellow bulldozer. It caused her to stop. Though she was relieved it hadn't moved, just seeing the huge machine squatting there, gross and ominous, made her heartbeat quicken, and her small round ears began to twitch ever so slightly. Then she turned toward Gray House and spied the red flag flying from the roof. Her father's way of announcing an emergency. She ran the rest of the way to Gray House. "Hey, Lily," called one of her cousins as she hurried up to the dilapidated building. "Did you find Poppy?" A grim Lily didn't even answer. "Lily," called another, "is Poppy coming? Where's Poppy? Did you find her? Is Poppy going to come?" Why do they always ask for Poppy, thought Lily as she scrambled up the porch steps and into the house without replying. The great number of mice milling about the doorway made it hard to get far. "Excuse me," she said, pushing her way through. "Can I pass? Sorry, please." She headed right behind the front hall steps. There Lungwort had established his private study in an old boot that Farmer Lamont, the original human owner of the farm, had left behind years ago. The boot was comfortably lined with odd bits of potato sacking. A couple of windows covered with napkin bits had been chewed through the leather. An old plaid necktie curtained the entryway. Out of respect for Lungwort's position as head of the family, and now for his age and infirmities, no one entered the boot without permission of sweet Cecilia. Lungworth's wife, and Lily and Poppy's mother. As far as Lily knew, Lungworth's boot was just about the only truly private place remaining in Grey House. When Lily finally reached the boot, she halted and caught her breath. Once composed, she pulled the curtain aside and called softly, "Mama, are you there? Mama, it's me, Lily, I'm back." Sweet Cecily stepped out of the boot. She was small, even for a deer mouse, with soft, pale gray eyes, thin whiskers, and a nervous habit of flicking her ears with her paws as if they were dusty. Her orange-brown fur was flecked with white. "Oh, Lily," she said, "I'm so glad you got back. Papa will be so much relieved." "How is he?" asked Lily. "Very much the same," said Sweet Cecily. "Troubled and full of complaints as always, the poor dear." She looked about and gave her ears a quick, nervous flick. "But Lily, dear, where's Poppy? Were you able to find her? Isn't she coming?" "Oh no, I'm afraid she is coming." Sweet Cecily blinked. "Afraid she is coming? But why?" "Mama, Poppy has, well, she's become different." Sweet Cecily put a paw before her mouth in alarm. "Goodness gracious, different in what way?" "She lives in a dead tree, has a husband, and 11 unruly children." "Oh my." "She's not nearly as refined as she used to be, or gracious. The truth is, Mama, she's become quite insensitive." Sweet Cecily sighed. It was right after that ragweed got into her life that she changed. She became, Lily finished the sentence, coarse. "Ragweed was a different sort," said Sweet Cecily. "Not a good influence, always demanding answers to everything. And then to die so young, so tragically. You know, of course, I was dreadfully sorry about his death." Sweet Cecily lowered her eyes for a respectful moment. "But then, Lily, as you know perfectly well, that mouse would simply not listen to your papa. What happened was Ragweed's own fault. But surely Poppy isn't that way, is she? Mama, she married Ragweed's brother." "She did? He's a golden mouse too." "Golden?" "Then, Mama, Poppy named one of her children Ragweed." Sweet Cecily gasped. "And Mama, she's bringing that young Ragweed here." "Here?" Lily nodded, but Sweet Cecily flicked her ears nervously. "It's terrible to say so about your grandchild," said Lily, "but this new Ragweed is, well, not so very different from his namesake. To begin, he's dyed himself completely black." "Black? With a white stripe down his back. Merciful mercy. He's very rude. And they call him Junior, by the way, is bringing a friend." "Heaven to Betsy," cried Sweet Cecily. What a time to bring a friend." "That friend, Mama," Lily had become quite shrill, "is a skunk." Sweet Cecily patted a paw over her mouth. "Mama, Lily confided in a lower voice. It was all I could do to get Poppy not to bring a horrid porcupine friend of hers along. Lily, do you mean to say those rumors we heard that Poppy had a good friend who is a porcupine were true? I told you they weren't rumors, didn't I? And if ever there was an unpleasant, gross, offensive, Sweet Cecilia's whiskers drooped. Her tail whipped about. With each word, her voice went up. Is Poppy bringing that porcupine here? No, said Lily, but only because I put my paw down. Oh, please, Lily, said Sweet Cecilia. You mustn't even whisper the word porcupine in the presence of your papa. You know how he still is obsessed about them. Is that you, Lily? Called a rather feeble voice from within the boot. Yes, Papa, called Lily. I'm right here. Why are you wasting time out there with your mother? You should be talking to me. Mother and daughter engaged simply knowing. You best go in, whispered Sweet Cecilia. I'll be fine. She held back the cloth that covered the entryway and whispered, Lily dear, please be careful what you tell him. You don't wish me to fib, do you? No, of course not. But as my mother used to always remind me, when in doubt, leave it out. But Mama, I have no doubt, said Lily. She held up her leaf pack of pines. I did bring Papa some seeds. Oh, Lily, I do wish your father grasped what a good daughter you are. Lily smiled ruefully, gave her mother's paw a reassuring squeeze, and went through the plaid necktie. Chapter 16, Lungwort. Lily passed deep into the boot. It was gloomy, the air suffused with the sour smell of old age and illness. Come along, Lily, called Lungwort. Don't dawdle so. Lily found her father in the boot's toe, resting on a bed of matted milkweed. Though Lungwort had been rather stout, the old mouse had become much thinner of late. His fur was almost completely gray, his tail bony. Still his whiskers, despite having also turned quite gray, were still elegantly curled. As for the ivory thimble that he had always worn as a cap of authority, it lay beside him. Wait a minute, I gotta take a drink. Can you tell how much that wind's blowing? It was blowing so hard a minute ago, I thought I was gonna have to duck. As Lily emerged from the gloom, Lungwort propped himself up on an elbow and looked around at her. She paused. It saddened Lily to see how lackluster her father's face had become. Quite pinched. It made his front teeth, which had always protruded slightly, even more prominent. His eyes, moreover, had a new and disturbing tendency to shift in and out of focus. and he often coughed, a deep hacking wheeze that seemed to shake him deeply. Did you find Poppy? Lungwort asked immediately. Yes, Papa. You didn't meet any porcupines along the way, did you? Well, no, Papa. If porcupines had their way, they would take over the world. I'm sure, Papa. And that bulldozer is still there. Humans brought it. But I suspect there's a porcupine behind it somehow. I presume you noticed I've had the red flag raised. Is Poppy coming? Yes, Papa. The old mouse went through a fit of coughing. I hope she knows, he resumed, that it's time for her to be a dutiful daughter and meet her responsibilities. To me, to the family. This business of going off elsewhere with someone or other always was absurd. Married, the rumor is, without my permission. There's the other rumor, of course, that she's befriended a porcupine. I don't believe that one. But even rumors can be disturbing. Doesn't she understand I've important plans for her? What plans? Asked Lily. That's for your sister's ears, not yours, said Lungworth. For another brief coughing spasm. But did you tell her all that? Yes, Papa, said Lily. Good. I'll explain everything to her privately. Tell her just what she must do. Provide good advice. Point out the direction to go. And inform her about those upon whom she can rely. You're sure you told her all this? Yes, Papa, most of it. Good, of course. I'll be able to say it better than you. Now, Lily, I've no more need for you. Feel free to gossip with your mother if you like, but do let me know the moment Poppy arrives. I can't wait to tell her what's in store for her. Can't you tell me? Asked Lily. No, it's for Poppy's ears and hers alone. Lungwort wheezed again and fell back into his bed. Is there anything else I can do for you? Let me be in peace. Goodbye. Papa, I brought you some pine seeds. Lily held out her full leaf. Fine, just leave them and go. Lily, wiping away a tear, withdrew. Oh my, all the plans that Lungwort has for Poppy, and Poppy's not going to agree with any of them, and then they're going to meet Junior, and then they're going to meet the skunk, and then best of all, they're going to meet Edith. So this sounds like it's going to be a very intense family reunion, and we have to wait till Monday. Oh well, have a nice weekend. Goodbye.